Welcome back to BEFM Drama. I'm your host, Ryan Estrada. As you know, this season we're digging up Charles Dickens' long-forgotten, wildly inconsistent, ill-justified 22-book series of sequels to A Christmas Carol and remixing them into brand new, modern-day radio plays. Now we're moving on to the 1862 edition, Somebody's Luggage. I know that I've said this a lot, but this is where it starts to get weird, but in a new way. The stories in this one are wild, but the backstory is even wilder. Okay, Dickens was starting to get frustrated with his collaborators. As I mentioned before, he outsourced most of the stories in these collections to other authors, but took credit for their work. But he was rarely happy with the stories they wrote for him. He never felt like they fit in the books. He never felt like they matched the plot or themes, and he never thought they were good enough to put his name on, even though he still did. Also, a lot of his regular collaborators had moved on, going to write their own books in this style under their own names. So he was having to work with almost a whole new crew. Dickens got a little grumpy. So this time he decided to make a plot where he could outsource the work and take credit without having to put his name to work he didn't think was up to his standards. He wrote Somebody's Luggage, a story about a guy who finds a lost suitcase full of unpublished stories and publishes them himself. Then he told his collaborators, John Osenford, Charles Collins, Arthur Locker, and Julia Stretton, that they could write about whatever they wanted. And within the story, he could attribute them to a fictitious author. And as a special diss to his old collaborators, made the plot about how the fictitious author didn't care that someone else took credit for his work. He was just happy to be published. This new batch of writers took their freedom to write weird stuff like nothing he'd ever published before. And ironically, it's some of the best stories that were in any of these collections. Stuff about haunted umbrellas and magic chairs and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to adapt this into a new tale that tells how Fern's first night with his new partner went. Please enjoy BEFM Drama's production of The Brown Paper Bandit.
I was back to work after a crazy night. I was called into the boss's office. At first, I thought I was in trouble for abandoning my ambulance the night before, but they had bigger things to worry about. There was this guy on the loose they were calling the Brown Paper Bandit. We'd been getting calls all day tending to people that he'd injured, and they were expecting a lot more. They expected a lot more during our shift. But that wasn't the only drama. The police had been asking around questions about some other thief, somebody that we worked with. They seemed to think that someone we worked with had been stealing from the patients. A pickpocket paramedic. They hadn't completed their investigation though because they were so busy with the Brown Paper Bandit case. The boss told me to keep an eye out for anything suspicious. And of course, not to abandon the ambulances anymore. I agreed.
Well, look what the cat drug in. They let you back in the building, huh?
I guess so.
Well, it looks like you're riding with me today. In 29 John.
Yep, looks like it. I'd been teamed up with a new partner. One of the few guys that'd been on the job longer than me. Everyone called him Major. He was known for being intense about his work. I, for one, was ready to have a quiet, relaxing day after the one that I'd just had, but little did I know, Major had some secrets up his sleeve that were about to make the night just as eventful.
Thanks for filling in. Sounds like it's gonna be a bloody one.
What happened to your partner today?
I can't tell you that. I may not be a doctor, but I take the Hippocratic Oath very seriously. I respect the privacy of others when it comes to their medical issues, be they patient or partner.
Oh, it's a medical issue, huh?
Yeah. Bathroom problems. Really gross. Messed his pants on a call yesterday. Bad shellfish, I think.
Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't want to spread that around.
Well, I'm very discreet. Wouldn't want to get that around the gossip network around here, if you know what I mean. You know how everyone is around here, huh?
29 John.
Go for 29 John.
Head to the alley behind the Oxenford Deli. We've got another victim of the Brown Paper Bandit.
We're on it. They better catch this guy fast.
Yeah.
So, what happened with your partner?
It was messy. You don't want to hear about all that.
Come on. I've already heard about that all again and again from everyone else. Gossip travels fast, especially juicy gossip about co-workers being rescued from fires in their underwear. I just wanted to hear it again, straight from the source.
Suffice to say, it was all Goblin's fault.
Okay.
Well, speaking of gossip, Did you hear about the thief?
Well, yeah, obviously. We're on our way to help his victim right now.
No, the other thief. Pickpocket paramedic? They say someone who works here has been stealing from patients.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that.
I heard they were close to catching him. Who do you think it is?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, from the way you talk, it sounds like Goblin is a pretty suspicious character.
Well, I mean, I don't think he'd do something like that. You have to be a real dirtbag to...
I'd bet it was Goblin. There's always been something off about that guy.
Well, yeah, he does have his problems, but...
Always so emotional and whiny.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Complains about everything. Nothing's ever good enough for him.
You're telling me?
Oh, and I can't believe that the guy thinks he has a chance at a rap career. How pathetic.
Oh. I think you might have confused.
Oh, and don't tell anybody, but I found his secret fan fiction blog.
His what?
He's working on a self-insert supernatural romance series called Big Red Riding Hood Wolf Hunter or something. How creepy is that?
Actually, it's Wolf Killer.
I mean, isn't he a little too old for that?
Well, I mean, it takes place 20 years after the events of the original, so...
Oh, check this out. I have it saved on my phone because it's so sad. As I lay at the makeshift grave of my long-lost love, my sobbing was interrupted by the roar and howling of her army of foxhounds, who she had diligently trained to crave the blood of wolves.
No. Hey, you don't have to read that. Maybe you should keep your eyes on the road.
Then the confident trot of her handsome mare. Those haunting sounds brought joy to my heart, for I knew that my love was alive. At long last, she had returned from the wolf wars. From through the mist, she appeared on horseback, a freshly slain Canis lupus slung over her shoulder. You must not lie here, my little one. You must come with me, she said. But I could not see her face. So rarely would she pull aside that heavy, blood-red cloak and reveal her scarred face, that fearful mutilation that the loathsome wolf's teeth had placed onto her pretty face all those 20 years before.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, I think you can stop reading
I
there.
knew that scar well. I had found it in the dark woods when we were both young, rescued her, and healed her. Are you hurt? I asked. Do you need further healing? No, she replied. I came not for your help, but for your heart. Let me see you, I told her. But my face, she replied. How I love that precious scar, but for that we might not be together now. She pulled her hood aside, and what I noticed was not the scar, but her smile.
Okay, yeah. That's enough.
Oh, come on. How pathetic is that? This sounds like the kind of creep you need to be suspicious of, man.
Yeah, that's me.
What?
I wrote that. It's not so much like a supernatural romance, but an alt history love story.
Oh, that's, it's yours?
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. Good job.
And it's not me in the story, though I too am a healer.
Yeah, good job, yeah.
I mean, and the rap thing, that's just like a hobby.
Goblin, though, still really suspicious.
Yeah, well, he's out of here soon.
Here we are, Oxenford Deli.
You gotta help me. The guy took my wallet and he stabbed me.
Yeah. We've got you. Don't worry.
The bandit, he had a red knit cap and a lime green jacket.
Yep. Got it. Fern, you jump in the back and help this guy. I'll drive.
I jumped in the back and tried to concentrate on stopping the bleeding, but unlike my old partner, Major wanted to do nothing but talk. He was yelling back to me through the curtain while I worked.
Hey, you want to know a secret?
Yeah, what's that?
I'm out of here soon, too.
Oh, really? When are you leaving?
Just as soon as my novel's published.
Oh, well, you're a writer too.
I'm a writer, yes.
Well, when's your novel coming out?
Just as soon as I find an agent.
Oh, no luck yet?
No, they all want to see the manuscript first.
Well, how close is your manuscript from being finished?
Just have to come up with an idea.
Oh, okay, well, good luck. I'm just about to get the bleeding stopped. This guy's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. It really does hurt, though.
I've gotten some short stories published, though.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You ever hear of a little story called The Ghost Umbrella from Spooky Tales number 31?
No, I can't say that I have.
No big deal. It's about a woman who's all alone in a terrible storm looking for shelter, but no one will let her in. One house just gives her an old, broken gingham umbrella and sends her on her way. In the middle of a flooded field, she gets struck by lightning, falls into the water, and drowns.
And then what? The umbrella gets haunted?
Heck yeah, it gets haunted. Years later, someone finds that umbrella, uses it, and they die too. Then someone finds it again, and again, on and on. Ghost umbrella, spooky stuff.
Yeah. Great. Well, what else do you write about?
Oh, I got another one that got into a literary magazine called The Ghost Chair.
Are all your stories about haunted household objects?
A lot of them, yeah. This one's about this chair that if you sit in it, it makes you tell the truth because of ghosts.
Hey, so, how far away is that hospital?
We took our patient to the hospital and headed back out on the road. I was watching out the window to see if I could see this mysterious bandit in a red cap and lime green jacket. But Major still just wanted to talk about books.
Yeah, as soon as my novel's published, I'm out of here.
No ideas yet, huh?
Well, I mean, I have one that I've been tinkering with.
Well, you can bounce it off me if you want, I guess. I mean, I'm kind of a writer too.
Yeah, kind of. But, nah, you don't want to hear about that.
Well, if you don't want to, that's fine. I'm out here just looking for this bandit while
It's called The Ghost Rider.
Oh. The writer is haunted.
No. It's about a real ghost writer, like a guy who writes stories for other people. It's fiction, though.
Okay. I mean, these all have been fiction, right? Or was there really a ghost umbrella?
Oh, no, that's right. It's all fiction. All of it. Completely based on the world of imagination, not real.
Understood.
Okay, well, it's about this guy. He's a well, let's just say that he has a job where he interacts a lot with sick people.
A paramedic? Like you and me?
Well, I mean, that could be it, but it's still just a rough outline so far. And if it was, it would be a coincidence. I mean, it's all fiction, so it could be anything. I'm just making this up.
Right. That's how fiction works.
So he's called to help out this guy, this writer. And our main character, he's always wanted to be a writer too, so he's a little jealous. He works such long hours and late nights at this job.
The paramedic job?
Whatever job. Because of the long hours, he's never been able to find the time to write, even though he knows he'd be really good at it if he tried. So he meets this writer who's dying. And while our hero's trying to save him, the writer tells his story about how he works as a ghostwriter for famous authors. They pay him to write the book, and they take the credit. Now, he made good money, but then he found out that the woman he had loved had fallen in love with one of his clients. She'd been swept away by his love story. The writer tried to explain to her that it was actually him who had written it, but she didn't believe him. So, rejected, he went home to write some stories of his own, something he could finally release under his own name. Yeah, it was a bunch of crazy stories about possessed furniture, haunted clocks, haunted umbrellas, all sorts of stuff. But he was too shy to show them to anybody.
Sounds tragic.
Don't feel too sorry for him, though. He's not the hero of the story.
Oh, right. The paramedic is.
Yeah, you know, the main guy, whatever his job is. So our hero hears this story, and then, despite everything, the writer dies. The main character now realizes that no one else has ever read these stories, and no one else knows they exist. So he thinks, wouldn't it be tragic if his final words just disappeared?
So he contacted the guy's publisher?
Well, no. He thought that maybe we could kill two birds with one stone here. I want to be a writer, but working all night as a paramedic means I don't have the time to write unless I get some big advance and then I can quit my job. But, it's how politics. No agent will answer your calls unless you've already been published. So he thinks, what if I took these, published these under my name, and then made a name for myself so I could write my own books?
What do you mean, I?
The character! It's a first-person narrator in the story.
Sure.
They say that to get published, your story has to have a likable lead. This guy's likable, right? He didn't do anything wrong. The guy was a ghostwriter. He wouldn't mind one more ghostwriting gig from beyond the grave, right? If anything, I gave this guy's life meaning.
You mean the character did?
Yeah, the character. You get it. Like if people found out it would just be like a fun story about persistence and following your dreams, right? Like, it wouldn't ruin his life.
Yeah.
I'll throw in some stuff about how guilty he feels, how it eats him up inside, like how he feels like maybe he crossed the line, like maybe he'd never done anything like that to anyone before who didn't deserve it, but he's good. No one knows. He's not going to get caught. There's no evidence. It'll be fine. I'll be fine.
So, yeah, I was pretty sure my partner was a serial thief. But I didn't have any direct evidence, so for the time being, all I could do was pretend like nothing had happened. And we were still in the middle of a whole shift that we had to get through. And little did we know that both of us were about to run into the Brown Paper Bandit.
Thank you for listening to BEFM Drama. We'll learn what Fern does next and the fate of both bandits in our next episode, Bagging the Brown Paper Bandit. Things are about to get a lot worse for everyone. Don't miss it. This was The Brown Paper Bandit, based on His Leaving Till Called For, His Brown Paper Parcel, and His Boots by Charles Dickens, His Umbrella by John Oxenford, His Black Bag and His Writing Desk by Charles Collins, as well as His Portmanteau and His Hatbox by Julia Stretton from the book Somebody's Luggage. This radio play was written by me, Ryan Estrada. It starred Kelly Brassbridge as Fern, Chris Tharp as Major, me as the patient, and G. Hazelton as Dispatch. Hidden Agenda, Hard Boiled, Spyglass, and Gagool are by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech and are released under Creative Commons Attribution License. As always, thank you for listening. See you next time.